What's new in the world out there?
So I just wanted to talk really quick about this new program that I can do nationwide, which is so good. It's called the Family Opportunity Mortgage. It is very nichey, but because we have a website and I can do it nationally, the only states I can't do it in is Hawaii and Alaska, which is pretty normal. I'm licensed in Idaho, Colorado, North Carolina, and California as a general rule, but we can do all of the states because my broker will pick up the difference, right? He
Yeah,
has the rest of the states.
gotcha.
But this particular mortgage is for elderly parents or disabled adults or people that have guardians that are unable to purchase their own home. Their children, right? They're the children of the elderly parents or the adults of the elderly child, adult child, disabled child, can buy them a home to live in as an owner occupied property. So better rate, lower mortgage insurance with 5% down is the minimum. And the buyer is not required to live there. They just have to qualify for the mortgage.
Wow.
Tax deductible. Yeah, check with your CPA. Don't quote me on this, but
Yeah.
tax deductible for the interest and property taxes. I mean, the bottom line is it's less than long-term care. So if you're, taking
Oh,
care of
okay.
someone, it's cheaper to buy a home, have care come into the home, and then you own another property as well. So the elderly parents and the disabled child cannot be on the loan or title, but it's looked at as an owner occupied property.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
it's
So
an amazing
long-term
little
care,
thing.
that's the way to go. Uh,
Yeah,
Probably not in California, but if you're,
maybe not, but I mean, long-term care, even when my mom was in long-term care, was $8,000 a month.
yeah.
So you're going to be paying a lot less if you're paying a mortgage for someone, an elderly parents, right?
Wow. Okay.
5% down minimum.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
buy the house, pay the mortgage, and then, like you said, bring in the care, and so that way they're in somewhere that's a little bit nicer than a
Yes.
facility that's got 150 people, and you know,
And the buyer uses it as an owner or claims it as an owner occupied and gets the better rate, gets the lower mortgage insurance, and it's way less than long-term care, regardless of where you're at.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
That's about
Interesting
it though.
one for sure. Interesting one for sure. I thought you were going to
Yes.
talk about the 1% thing.
I mean, I'm getting like 10 calls a day from the website nationally.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cheryl actually might be in that position. I know she cares, helps set up stuff for her mom. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl, can we ask without getting too in depth? Your mom, I know I've seen her in here with you before. Is she in a facility or is she in a home and you bring care into her home?
Well, she's in a facility.
No, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
My go
Assisted. She has her own apartment, but she goes down for meals and they have caretakers that help take care of them.
Gotcha. Okay.
You want me to repeat it really quick for Cheryl?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
Cheryl, if you could real quick.
Okay. So there's this new program that is a national program that I'm able to fund. It's called the Family Mortgage Opportunity Mortgage. It's for elderly parents or adult disabled children. And the buyer can buy the home as an owner occupied property and not have to live there and get all the benefits of an owner occupied property, lower interest rate, no lower mortgage insurance, down to 5% down, and house elderly parents or disabled children uh, as their primary residence. And so, what we were talking about when you logged in was it's so much less a lot of the times than long term care. Because I was telling him when my mom was in long term care, it was like $8,000 a month.
Mhm.
And so if you're paying for a mortgage and then you get the write off of the mortgage insurance and the property taxes as a benefit of an owner occupied property. So it's a
Okay,
national program. So I can do it in every state except for Alaska and Hawaii.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
go ahead, Cheryl.
this would be where maybe a relative of the children would buy a home with an owner occupied rate, move their mom into it, and not necessarily, do they have to live in it or
The elderly parent has to live in it, but the buyer does not.
so then they would just bring in hired help. to
Yes,
come in and take care of.
exactly. Yes, or anybody else can live there. It just the buyer themselves doesn't have to live there. They can live there if they want, but they don't have to either. Yeah.
You could bring in a family member that was
Right.
going to care for them. And like I said, especially for those that have an adult child that has, spectrum of autism that maybe necessarily can't afford everything on their own, it
Right.
gives them the sense of freedom. I've got my own place, but the parents are like, hey, we're still subsidizing
Right.
rather than them living.
Supervised freedom, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But no, we're going to have more and more of that, right?
100%. Yeah,
Um,
it's a really great program. I
so.
was like, "Ooh, love it."
Yeah, we've had that discussion about my dad because where he is right now, 76, he's healthy. And luckily for him, his house is paid off. But,
Right.
you know, care, would it be better for us to bring in care at X dollars or to take you to a facility where maybe you might have a little more interaction with people on a grander scale, but, you're not in your own home. You're in this little tiny dinky 500 square foot room. My grandmother was in the same type of care. And actually, as she got to the very end, the last 6 months, they brought her into my aunt's house so that she
Yeah.
had family around her regularly.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said, and for each person individually based on life, wherever they're at, it will make sense or not make sense. So,
And the type of care that they need and what
yeah,
they want, what their wishes are, things like
yeah,
that.
you're right.
So yeah.
Yeah, there'll be people that still, a little bit more on that, side where I want my own independence, but they can't really have it. And
Yeah.
so there'll be just different pieces. So very cool, very cool. Thank you for
Yeah. So keep that in
sharing.
mind if that comes up again nationally, except for Hawaii and Alaska.
So
Gotcha.
what's the name of that
It's called
program?
the Family Opportunity Mortgage.
Family Opportunity?
Yes,
Okay.
family opportunity. Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So, if you guys got the invitation this week, talking about unique selling proposition, I've been talking about brand for a while, and we're trying to give agents different opportunities, different ways to think about how they want to brand their business, what they want to be known as. I always use Cheryl as our example because she is plaster horse and home. She has a very specific niche. She's very specific to her community. But I'm going to jump in and share my screen with you guys. And then I got to figure out where I put my PowerPoint. There it is. So, bam, hopefully there it is. Nope, that's not what I want. So when you guys see my screen online, do you guys just see the having a unique selling proposition or do you guys see everything still? Okay, you still see it that way. Sorry, I'm still learning PowerPoint and I just don't quite get it always. I want it to be. Sorry, guys. I apologize. Like I said, I'm still learning how to fully utilize this thing. No, so you guys still see full screen, right? Hmm. All right. Well, I guess I just don't. I'm never going to learn this. Someone's going to have to teach me. So,
It's fine. We'll give you grace. No worries.
all right. So, having a unique selling proposition in the highly competitive world of real estate. That's us and where we're at today. USP, their name for a unique selling proposition, or the shortened version is distinct and compelling value proposition that sets real estate agents apart. And right now, in today's market, is when you really got to have something that sets you guys apart. Like I said, I mentioned Cheryl. I use her as my example a lot of the time. My wife and I changed our unique selling proposition specifically for listings, where a lot of people in our area don't do this. We go through a very extensive kind of walk through with our clients, and we talk about why we should do home inspection, pest inspection, roof inspection, and sewer inspection all up front. So pretty much all the inspections done up front. And my little spiel is always, hey, we want to keep you in the driver's seat. But think about this. When you guys are out there and you're putting together a listing presentation, or you're the listing agent, the buyers go and do their inspections. They come back, oh, we've got cracks in the foundation. We've got wood boring beetles. We've got this. They come back and either, well, first of all, they probably run if they don't have a great agent helping them to understand that those are kind of common, or they come back with this list of, hey, we want $25,000 off the purchase price, or we want $25,000 worth of repairs. And it's really not that much in actual repairs, but someone is nervous. It's scary. It's a little bit nerve-wracking. So we have put together our unique selling proposition to state that, hey, if we do all these inspections up front and you know exactly what you're dealing with, we can address any health and safety issues. We can address pest inspection. We can tent the property if we need to. We just had to tent one for wood boring beetles. But this is an opportunity for you to set yourself apart. It's to make yourself a little bit different than the next person, because the next person walks in and they do the same thing you guys do as listing. Hey, here's my CMA, here's my comps, here's a little bit about me, here's my reviews, but it's all fairly the same. We go through, like I said, it's very extensive. It's a very detailed report, but we also talk about staging. We talk about professional photography. We do everything to really set ourselves and the bar for what we do and how we help our clients to be so much more. And if you look at the last 6 months of sales, every single one of our properties goes over asking price with no concessions, no last minute adjustments in, I need this, I need this, I need this from the buyer side, because all that stuff's done up front. A lot of times we get contingency removals up front as well. We just listed a property last week. I think it was Thursday before the holiday. We got a offer 35,000 over list with contingency removed except for appraisal. They gave us an appraisal gap and they removed everything else up front. So my seller's like, yeah, that's pretty much the best offer I've ever seen. So it kind of sets us apart. So what is USP? Defining it in the context of real estate sales, understanding the significance, and especially, like I said, in a competitive market. I want you guys to think about different times that the markets have shifted and how do we set ourselves apart. Stacy, same thing for lending. Hey, the market shifts and rates are going up and now people are super, what do I do? I don't know if I should use Joe or Mary or Bob, even though you may have a relationship with them. So you've got to do something that sets yourself apart. Hey, I don't charge any upfront fees, or I don't do this, or I guarantee my rate lock for 60 days, whatever those things are. Those are things that you guys have, as agents and lenders, have got to look at that sets you apart, makes you a little bit different. And like I said, people right now, especially in today's market, are going to be shopping agents. They're going to be like, hey, I met so-and-so at at an open house and they gave me a little bit of information, but they didn't really have anything that set them apart. Yeah, I might have had a friendly face. I might have had, a good conversation, but I've got 5 other agents that I know from my neighborhood or that I've met at other open houses that are feeding me data and information. So you've got to look at what is going to set you guys apart. Like I said, in the past, I've talked about branding before. This is part of you guys as agents building your brand. So you could be a price-based USP, and I'm going to give you guys 5 examples, 5 different ways that people could try and set yourself apart. Now it says here, competitive commission rates. And I know we've all seen this. You've got an agent who says, I'm the 1% specialist. I want to gag. Do not do that. When I say competitive, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to drop your rate. I know several people that do this. They go, hey, it's a 1%er. I'm going to list, I'm in competition with the other agents out there. Yes, there will always be people that want the Redfin deal that, hey, we're going to list it for 1% or whatever their little specialty thing is, but they're not getting anything personal. So I would say this, instead of trying to be the 1% person, I would come in with value, 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 value. So I mentioned to you guys my selling proposition, my wife and I, we charge 6% on every single listing. We just did a family deal. We did it at 5%. But if you're not family or my best friend or somebody I've known since we were, kids, it's going to be a 6% listing commission, 100% all the time. And we take 3.5% on the listing side. We show value, value, value versus competitive commission. We're going to discount. I just think it's I think it's more important. I think if you show value to the seller, to the person you're against, and they say, "Oh, we're still going to communicate to another person. We're still going to interview another person." That's perfectly fine. If you set up the amount of value, we have like a 5-page marketing description of what we do, and I mean it is like 57 points in it of what we do that sets us apart. When people look at that and say, "Hey, listen, I'm going to be able to show you all these pieces that we do," and when somebody else comes in and goes, "Well, I'm going to do the 3 Ps, I'm going to, put the sign in the yard, I'm going to put a lockbox on it, and I'm going to pray." That's what they do. They don't do anything else. We talk about, staging. We talk about cleaning. We talk about doing a rehab. We talk about cash offers if that's most important to them. And then we talk about all of our social media push, the video that we do, all these other pieces. Like I said, the list is forever. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I didn't realize we were going through it the last couple of days, kind of sprucing it up, putting it into a pretty package. And when I was looking at it going, wow, I would hire this person. So like I said, you don't always have to be competitive rates. I know this says competitive commission rates, but I use that actually just to show the other side is value. If any of you guys know who Gail DeMarco is, her team is up in El Dorado Hills. Gail's actually in Florida half the time now. But I was telling Kelly, they charge 6.5 to 7%. And they do literally $80 to $100 million a year. They're doing multi-million-dollar listings, $1 million and up, 1.5, 2 million. They actually charge a higher commission rate. They do all of this stuff that we're talking about, but they show that their value is so much more that they actually tack on an extra 0.5 to 1% for their marketing. So pretty insane. I know, Cheryl, you do a lot of marketing. I know you do some pretty heavy marketing for your horse people. We've had several discussions. I know it can be literally into the thousands of dollars because you're reaching out to people specifically in the horse community. So there's specific marketing, there's specific magazines and websites. So if there's additional cost that you have out, you need to make sure you're recouping that back. And like I said, in today's market, the reason I'm kind of talking USP is I want you guys as agents to realize now is the time to double down into your marketing, to who you are, to building your brand, so that when we come out of this, you guys are really going to kind of float to the top as being the experts in the areas. So let me know if there's any questions. Kelly will have to, I have my picture shrunk, so I can't see any hand gestures or hello or waving or anything like that. The other thing, quality-based USP, exceptional property expertise. This is Cheryl in a nutshell. Like I said, Placer Horse and Home. This is exceptional property expertise. She is an expert in farm and horse property and things like that. So you could be, I am a duplex specialist. I am a multi-property specialist. I'm a ranch specialist. Or, hey, I'm a specialist in a specific neighborhood, which is actually a different one. But like I said, exceptional property expertise. I know this type of property the best. So you guys also could be innovation-based, cutting-edge technology and marketing. I know that Stacy and my wife and a few other folks are doing a special thing on Tuesdays called Tech Tuesday, which is talking about AI. So these would be opportunities for you guys as agents to learn about other technologies that may help you to broadcast your property differently, utilize TikTok or Instagram, or how to write, your content even better.
Blogging.
Yes, exactly. Blogging, different things like that. Those are important things for you to look at. If I'm going to be a technology person, that is definitely never going to be me. That will be my wife. I'm like, I don't want anything to do with technology. I try and stay as focused as I can on the 1 or 2 things that we have within our own system. And EXP offers a ton of different things to agents. Like I said, if you're going to be technology, focus on specifically that technology.
Well, Jen and I have had extensive conversations about that, because I think that everybody expects, like in your, especially with EXP, they want everyone recruiting, right? But that might not be your superpower. So we all need to follow what our superpower is. And, I wouldn't know anything about a horse property, right? So that would be something, even for lending, I would probably have to dig a little bit deeper to find who could I broker that particular loan to. But
Yep.
I think that making sure you know what your superpower is and using it to your advantage and making sure everyone's doing their piece in their superpower area. Gary, you're not going to do technology and Jen's not going to do numbers, right? I mean, that's just the way it balances out.
Yep, exactly right. Absolutely correct. So another one is tailored buying and selling experiences. The role of exceptional customer service. I know Stacy says that she's done Nordstrom service. This is the level of service you offer to your clients. Kelly and I were mentioning another thing, and it's kind of could go with this. Your experience is every time you buy a house with me or you do a loan with me, I buy you a cruise. There's a company out there that actually has these great deals on cruises for, like I said, a couple of $100. And you could be, this is part of my experience. When you buy a house with me, do a loan with me, you get a cruise. Kelly and I mentioned you could buy a home warranty. It could be your tagline. It could be, this is my experience. I always make sure the home warranty is included. I always make sure there's a cruise included, or you could just be like, we offer this Nordstrom level of service. It is hand holding. It is, it is just that super extra loving on them, spending time with them, talking to them, emailing them, texting them, whatever it is. It's that level of experience that they go, I never worry about during my process of my purchase or sale or the loan process. I never have to worry about knowing what the next step is because my person communicates. Here's where we're at today. We've ordered the appraisal. We're probably 5 to 7 days out. It's a level of communication, whether that's in video or a text message, or there's a website that they can follow the chain of how things are happening. It's just that extra level of service.
I call it the extreme communication.
There you go.
You're never going to wonder what's happening. I'm always on.
Exactly. That is one of the things that we are working on also is I want to up our level of communication to our clients during our process. Not once a week, but every time something new happens, I don't always communicate that the appraisal came in and it's at value. I just think, hey, it's value. It has nothing for us to worry about. So I don't think about it, but it needs to be, it just happened. Here's the great news. Here's what the next steps are. So that's that extra communication, like Stacy mentioned.
Stacy's really good at that.
Yes, she is. So kudos to you, Stacy, for your expert communication. Local market expertise based on USP, your neighborhood specialist. I'm sure you guys have seen this before. There is a couple people out there that are considered neighborhood specialists. And I don't mean someone that just actually put a sign on it. In my old neighborhood, there was a lady that came through probably every 2 weeks and dropped off paperwork to us, even though she knew that I was a realtor and broker. They still dropped information off to us as a whole, and they just said, this is it. This is our neighborhood. This is 1,000 properties in our little development. She was a Keller Williams agent. I know that there's another Keller Williams agent that kind of does East Roseville and Citrus Heights. The DMate team, they call themselves a neighborhood specialist. They are literally there engaged in everything that goes on in the neighborhood, not just from a sales standpoint. They engage in the local events that are going on. They advertise at the school. They have kids that go to the school and probably grandkids now. In our new neighborhood, we have an agent that's not part of my team specifically, but is an EXP agent, and they bring coffee out twice a month on Sunday mornings. And it's have coffee and let's visit and get to know each other. Our neighborhood is fairly new. It's only 6 years old. So they're trying to build community within that. They are putting on a neighborhood garage sale. They are putting on the neighborhood National Night Out. They are the people that put that together. That is someone who becomes a neighborhood specialist. You're then obviously focusing on a smaller neighborhood, maybe only, like I said, 1,000 people. I guess maybe 2,000 homes max is my guess. But doesn't mean you're not going to ever sell in Rockland or Elk Grove. It just says that I'm trying to become the neighborhood specialist in right here where I'm at, like for us as West Park, Roseville. So strategies for becoming a trusted neighborhood specialist. I mentioned, like I said, Jen did this when she was, brand new in her career. It was, I did, the floats, the parades, the, putting out flags on July 4th, whatever it is that you kind of push to your neighborhood to show I'm the person that loves on you guys, shares with you guys, knows everything that's going on in the neighborhood, runs the Facebook page, puts together different things to engage people. And so, hey, did you know that there's we have a plumber and we have a painter and we have a mechanic? They try and engage all those small businesses. That's really where you become the neighborhood specialist. So that might be something that you want to do. Choosing the right one for your real estate career. So we have people in our fold here that are watching this that have been in it for 20 years, like myself and Cheryl, and there's Stacy at 4 years. Then there's people that are brand new, that are just getting their license, that don't know what to do, haven't really even decided what they're gonna be as a unique selling proposition. So, like Stacy said earlier, assess your strengths and weaknesses, and decide on my strengths. My strengths are throwing parties and being involved in the community. Other people, like Stacey said, might be a technology person, or you may have a love of horses like Cheryl. Figure out that strength and actually create your career and your unique selling proposition around that. There's lots of opportunities. I've mentioned several through this. We've had people that have been mobile home specialists. We have people that speak Spanish and focus their attention on that. There are so many different ways, opportunities for you guys to become very specialized. Like I said, it doesn't mean solely that you're only going to work in that area. Cheryl, I'm sure, has sold multiple homes that are not ranches. I'm sure Stacy's done VA loans, FHA loans, conventional loans, USDA loans, seconds, all those things, but she probably has her core group, that conventional. She loves the first-time buyers. Those are different things that are specific to her. Any questions yet? Anything? Any thoughts, ideas? Nope. All right. So developing, communicating your real estate USP. This actually should be part of your brand. It should be a part of who you are. Your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok, your YouTube, your business cards should talk about what your USP is. It should be a part of your brand. So think about what you want your future to look like. Like I said, if you're newer in real estate, and for those of us that are maybe coming a little bit closer to the tail end, that we haven't really developed it exactly. I've always had niches. I was an REO specialist. I was a short sale specialist. I worked with an investor group. I've done a lot of first-time home buyers. I've done a little bit of everything. We now are officially branding ourselves as the Living in Sacramento team, because we're doing that around a YouTube channel. So that way, anybody that starts looking up living in Sacramento, moving to Sacramento, they will kind of hopefully gravitate towards our brand. Another thing to think about is your unique selling proposition is you may only live in a neighborhood for a certain period of time. Your kids are only going to be young for a certain period of time. They're going to move up the ranks from elementary to middle to high school. You may want to realize that your branding and your unique selling proposition, if it is around your kids, soccer or whatever it is, keep in mind that those kids will move along. So you got to have something that's a little bit can pivot and adjust. And then, of course, this is not a forever thing. You can change your unique selling proposition if it's something that doesn't work for you. It's not something I have to do this and it's going to be forever. And then I realized I don't like first-time buyers. I really want to work with investors. I know several people that work with investors, and that's all they work with. And there's nothing wrong with that. So like I said, you can change, pivot, and it may adjust over the years as, like I said, kids move and go away from home, and now you're an empty nester and you start to focus on that 55 and over community. You may decide to move into a 55 and over community yourself, and then you want to change your unique selling proposition. So just something to think about. Last one, we recapped, well, those are the 5 different unique selling propositions. You guys have to think through what is most important to you, your creativity, your innovation in marketing real estate services. And then my last thing is any questions, comments? We've had several throughout the process, but what else? What did I miss?
It's just a load of info.
Kelly said it's a load of info. She's a little bit blown away today. I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to line it out for you guys and give you some ideas.
I think what's the challenge for me is landing on what my focus would be.
Gotcha.
What would my brand, what would my value add be? And
Gotcha.
that kind of thing. What do I and then Stacy mentions the superpower, and sometimes finding out what your superpower is comes out of other people more so than you being aware of what it is. So
yep, absolutely. I would agree. In case you guys didn't quite catch all of Kelly said, hey, I'm not sure where I want to land, what my superpower is. Another way for you guys to do this is do some research, find out what other unique selling propositions are being used, look at other people's brands that are out there in the Sacramento region, and also look at brands that are outside of our area. I don't know if Cheryl specifically went out and looked for, horses and things of that nature. I think that's just a passion she had, and it kind of just blended perfectly with what she's doing. And it's something that probably will never change. We have another young lady in our office, Lauren Berry. She's a huge horse fanatic. She is always taking pictures on her social media with her horse. So, but that doesn't mean she's out selling horse property. It just means that she has a passion for horses, and she just hasn't quite married the two together. But she also sells a lot in Grass Valley, which is kind of her area where she lives. So there's lots of different ways to do it. Another thing you guys could do as a whole would be get 5 or 6 people together, talk about branding, do a mastermind, look at other, like I said, different people that are doing different things and try and engage with them. Take a survey of your clients and ask, hey, what was something I really did well during our process? Was something that I could have, done a little better? That might tell you what your strengths and weaknesses are. Something that might help you guys as well. So, but the other thing is, like I said, pick something and go in that direction. And if you find out in 6 months or a year, that's not exactly what I want to do, there's nothing wrong with that. You understood the goal and you went that direction. And if you need to correct, hey, God corrects us all the time when we're going down the wrong path. So you'll run into some roadblocks. If not, everything will be smooth sailing. This is the exact direction I was supposed to be going the whole time, and I ended up here. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys. Kelly's the only one in the office. The rest of you guys are losers. Just kidding. Stacy and Cheryl are both winners because we love them so much. And anybody that's watching this on Rewind or next week or next month or next year, feel free to reach out with questions. And remember that you can come to the class on Wednesdays in the office at 11 o'clock, and you get a chance to win a gift card for $25 to go to dinner, to go to Amazon, to go to Starbucks, and you get to see me live and in person. So thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Hope you guys all liked this, and I wish you guys the best of luck out there as you are working on your unique selling proposition. Take care, y'all. Bye.